everybody. Welcome back to the Healthy Caregiver. I am just checking my tech here to make sure that we are live. Welcome to another Tuesday training. Um, and it looks like we are, so that's great. I'm just going to invite everybody here. So welcome. For those of you who don't know me, welcome to our community. We've had a few new members recently, so I'm super glad you're here. Just let me quickly introduce myself. For those of, like I said, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Kaylee Johnson. I'm a certified health and life coach, the founder of Spark Your Journey, and I created my business after working professionally in the caregiver space for over 25 years and personally caring for my 92-year-old grandmother. So when I say I understand some of the challenges that caregivers face, I truly mean it. Caregivers are superheroes to me, and supporting caregivers is my passion. And I believe it's caregiving is one of the most underserved communities out there. So I really want to provide really valuable resources for caregivers. So if you are joining me this morning, please say hello in the comments. I'd love to know who's here. You can drop live. You can say good morning. You can say hello. Also, I love to know if you caught the replay. If you stopped by that way, that is also super valuable information. So you can just hop on and say a replay or I'm here too. Whatever works for you. But I love to know who I'm connecting with. So just a quick caregiver announcement here. We have a caregiver support group. I co-host a monthly virtual caregiver support group with Jessica Cannon. She is part of the proactive caregiver. She has a podcast. She's the author of the Proactive Caregiving book. So her and I have joined together, and once a month we offer a caregiving support group. It's called Refuel. And we really hope that you refuel there. That's our purpose of providing the space for caregivers. So our next one is actually July 21st, which is next Monday at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you comment below this video, support group, I will send you the link to register. And then once you register, you'll get the Zoom link for the meeting. So once again, that's this coming Monday, July 21st at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. So today we are diving into the top 4 ways to bring balance back to your life. So I talk to caregivers every single day. And one of the most common struggles that I hear is, how do I find balance when I'm constantly caring for others and wearing so many different hats? So today I really want to help you shift your mindset around balance and really give you really some we're gonna work through 4 practical ways to create balance, because guess what, it's not just going to magically appear. So before we dive in, let's just talk about balance a little bit more. So most of us think balance is like, if you think of that old time scale, and there's 2 plates on each side, and you're kind of weighing something back and forth, and you put some more on this side because it's like this, and to bring it back up. So until we get them balanced. But I want you to not think about balance that way. I want to invite you to a different way to look at balance. So balance doesn't need to mean equal parts, especially time, but it means intentional time. So we don't need to spend the same amount of time in every area of our life. But guess what? We do need to check in consistently and regularly with each of them. So for instance, if this is my caregiver like duties, they might be over here, and this might be my self-care. But the time frame is different, but the consistency is I'm checking in each day. That's where the shift happens. So we don't, like I said, we don't need to spend the same amount of time in every area of our life, but we do need to check in regularly. So we get to let go of the perfection of that idea of the scale and instead think of it of like that back and forth motion. That's balance. What if this is what how we can think of balance? Is it going up and down and up and down? That's flexible. That's dynamic. That's responsive. It's that ebb and flow that actually feels in alignment. So just want to invite you to that kind of that mindset shift around balance. And what if it gets to be this flexible scale that we're looking at that's going up and down and up and down. And sometimes it's going to feel like this, but at least it's a little bit there because we're checking in consistently. So 10 signs to really recognize that my life is out of balance, because sometimes we're so laser focused on our loved one, we've abandoned our own needs and we're not even aware of it. So I just want to bring up some really common signs that your life might be out of balance. So if you're experiencing any of these, or maybe a handful, or maybe even all of these, I can relate with all of these at times. So that's totally normal. But guess what it might indicate? It might be a time for a reset. So here's the first one: is your to-do list that never ends. You never get to the bottom of your to-do list. You're feeling exhausted, overwhelmed each day because you just have so many things on your plate that you're responsible for that you can never ever get to that accomplished feeling because you never make it to the bottom of your list. And guess what? Most of us are the things at the bottom of the list, so then we aren't getting to our own needs, which, like I said, oftentimes get pushed to the bottom. Resentment towards caregiving. If I'm starting to feel resentment towards caregiving, that's just a red flag that my life is probably out of balance. No time for yourself or things that you enjoy. Once again, it's not going to be hours and hours and hours, but is there a place for you to have time for you, even 10 minutes, even a few things that you enjoy? Maybe you're enjoying a cup of tea and you've just cut that out because you just don't think you have time, or you really enjoy walking, and because you can't leave your caregiver, your loved one at home, maybe you stop moving your body. But maybe there's other ways that we can walk and be a caregiver. So just recognizing no time for you if I'm feeling that way, or no time for things that I enjoy. If you're feeling if you're feeling sick or run down often. So we're getting sick more than normal, and I'm just feeling that exhaustion on a daily basis. Another red flag that your life might be out of balance is consistent stress or anxiety. This is another one that is just a warning sign, like a check engine light, that, okay, it's time to check in with you. I've maybe abandoned myself. I know I have many times. And so just the awareness of, okay, I need to shift. If I feel that my entire life revolves around caregiving, like I said, it might feel like this, caregiving might be over here, but at least you are having that ebb and flow even a little bit. If it's a struggle to even get out of bed, that's also a big one sometimes for caregivers. And this is really a red flag that, okay, there's things I need to tune into here. If you have an increased frustration or anger, where normally, I'm pretty chill, I'm a pretty easygoing person, and I'm feeling this intense frustration and anger every day. It just might mean that your life is out of balance. Cluttered home or cluttered mind. Both of those are very, very big indicators that our life could be out of balance. And the last one that we're going to touch on is lack of physical movement. If I used to move my body and that's not a thing anymore because of my caregiving, how can we invite that back in? So if you can relate with any of these, you are not alone. And like I said, I've been there. I can relate with all of these at some point in time during my caregiving. So Now we want to dive into ways we can create a balanced practice in our lives. So instead of finding balance, we get to create balance. So we're not going to stumble on an extra 3 hours a day, nor do we need the 3 hours a day. Um, so here is the first practical way that we can start to create balance in our caregiving life is to sit down, just sit down for a hot second and ask yourself and write it down. What truly matters to me? What truly matters? 3 to 5 things max. What are my priorities? Define my priorities. That's the first thing. Define your priorities, 3 to 5 things, and actually sit down and ask yourself, what truly matters to me? If I was looking back on my life, what truly matters to me at the end of the day? Not all this BS and clutter and drama, but what truly matters to me. And like I said, I really recommend 3 to 5 things that you write down. And guess what? You must be one of those 3 to 5 things. I know, hard to hear, right? But truly, 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 you do need to be one of those 3 to 5 things because, like I said, oftentimes we're at the very bottom of our list and we never get there. So it might feel challenging at first, but defining your priorities really helps us guide our daily decisions. And balance starts with knowing what you're aiming for. Otherwise, we're just walking through life with a blindfold on. Well, I don't know, I'm just doing this, and we don't have any we don't have any focus. So what am I? What are my intentions? What am I focusing on? What is important? I see Jessica's here, Tony's here, Radisha is here. Awesome. So glad to see you guys here this morning. Thank you for being live. So number 2, get those priorities on your schedule. So the next thing is then look at your schedule and get them on there. Once you know what's important, schedule it. Even in the smallest, itty bittiest ways. Balance isn't built in hours. Balance is built in consistency and intentional moments. I'm going to repeat that for the people in the back because this is the important part. Balance is not built in hours. It is built in consistent, intentional moments. So I'm going to give you a really quick example. If one of my priorities, when I do my 3 to 5, if one of them is to eat healthy, then I check in with that each day for just a hot second. Does that mean that I need to eat all and every meal perfectly in order to feel balanced? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It just means that I have to do one thing today that respects that priority. And maybe on a really challenging day, I eat a banana instead of a cookie. Guess what? That's a win. And I get to choose to celebrate that because I took a baby step in the direction of my priority. I acknowledged it and I checked in with it. This gets to be easy. It does not have to be hard. I see Judy's here. Awesome. And Martin is here. Great to see you guys here this morning. Judy says, I am disappointed that I'm going to be called in for my dentist appointment soon. Well, really recognizing that's a part of self-care, like going into your dentist appointment is you taking care of you. Probably because maybe you're on this live. You can also watch the replay if that's what you mean. I'm not sure exactly what you mean, but it is a level of self-care. So if you're going to the dentist, great job. So the third one is be specific and set boundaries. Vague goals like I want to eat better, I need more time to relax, I need to exercise, they don't work because we have to get clear. We have to get crystal clear. So this is how we get crystal clear on being specific and setting boundaries. I will walk 30 minutes on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at noon. That is getting specific. I will read for 10 minutes each night before bed. That is getting crystal clear and specific. We are setting up when, how often, and what time. Now that's getting on our calendar. Now we start to look at it like an appointment. And it is, it's a sacred appointment with yourself. And then protect those moments. If your priority is self care, maybe that means saying no to non urgent emails or asking for help, even when it feels uncomfortable. So the last one, number 4, is get support and stay accountable. I can't say this enough. This is a key step. Let's be honest. It's easy to drop your own priorities when nobody's watching. Find support with a coach like me, a friend, a therapist, a community. I don't care, whatever works for you. The accountability is going to be key in this, and the level of support. You are giving your support to someone else. You also need to have that support for yourself. So have you ever made a New Year's resolution and it faded by February? That's why accountability matters. We show up 85% more when we have a level of accountability. Otherwise, we sneak out the back door on ourselves, myself included. So recap the 4 key ways to create daily balance. The first one is to clarify your priorities. Make sure you are on your list. Number 2 is schedule small actions. Consistency beats intensity. Be specific. Clarity leads to follow through. What days and times, how often, getting it on that calendar, and then getting the support. You do not have to do this alone. In fact, it is vital that you don't do this alone, because research shows we show up at a much higher level when we have support and accountability. And that's exactly what I provide to my clients, is support and accountability. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in this morning. We'll be talking about balance all week long in the Facebook group, so please stay engaged. And I would love to hear from you. What is one way you're going to create more balance in your life this week? Drop it in the comments. When you share, you inspire someone else to share as well. And remember, your voice matters. When you share here, you actually have a higher level of accountability, because now you've shared this with this community. I want to thank you so much again for being here. And don't forget that on July 21st, next Monday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time, we're having the next support group at 6:30 p.m. So put support group in the comments below this video, and I will send you the registration link. I'm sorry. You guys have a great rest of your Tuesday, and thank you so much for tuning in today.